Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be. It's good to have you with me. I'm Doug, and we're here at the workshop of Woods Fun Round, and we got a. I think we have a treat. It's a treat for me to do it. Been seeing people do these here lately, and I wanted to give myself a shot at it. And so this was my practice piece of all things. Ah, I know what that is. Give me half a second. Well, where there it is. Phew. Okay. YouTube. Anyway, you can see there we're offset. In all actuality, folks, that is only offset by a half an inch, maybe just a hair over half an inch. You can see my bottom, and I'll explain all that here in just a moment. But we're going to start off. This is the idea. This one is out of walnut. We're going to work on one today out of Kingwood. Got a piece of Kingwood here. This was a board that was sold to me. Some folks were moving and just needed to get rid of stuff that they had collected up, and so I bought this board of Kingwood. You may have seen the Paduke that I turned not too long ago. That was a one of them. There were two or three other pieces of wood, but anyway, so this is what we're turning today. I've got Ruby helping me out there, and so good to have you, Ruby. Um, I guess before I put that on, I need to show you. I've got, I'm going to go ahead and put you in the background, Ruby, so they can see this. I've got two holes drilled there for my uh, word, wood worm screw. I try to twist those two words together so badly. Anyway, one's in the center, one's offset about a half an inch. And so that's where we're going to start.
What's the overall diameter of this piece?
Glad you asked me now. It is just a hair over 8 inches by 1 3/8 deep or thick. So it's not very thick. The walnut was a good bit thicker. That was a little more, I didn't have to worry about it too much. This one, I've had to worry about the depth of my holes for the screw. And
Now,
then
now are you
now that that's,
starting with the one that's dead center?
yes,
Okay.
yes, we're going to start center, turn a recess. Well, that's what we want to do. I've got to turn a recess. I've got to flatten this bottom off. In fact, I need to uh, shape it. Got to get rid of that bowl.
All right.
Okay,
You want me to try and get through who all's joining us?
absolutely, absolutely. You go right ahead and do that.
I don't have that great list like Wayne and Mark do. Okay, first in was Vinnie Charlton. Hi, Vinnie. Then Norman Greenwell, Andy, door 60. Let's see. Mike Evans, Ronald Todd, Mick Dews. Hope he's got my sandpaper ready for me. Norman Greenwell, Barry Chitty, Paul Finley, Pete from Twisted Trees, Al Dawson, Paul Houghton, Todd at Glen Cove, Andrew, Nigel Harvey, Lucy, Heather, Ward Wilson, Old Man River, Dale, Mark S., Roger Wallum. Oh, Spunby Green Jeans. That's a new one for me. Andy, the Valley Wood Turner. Chris Walters. Hi, Chris. Hope you're doing well today. And Radio Face Woodworks. Another new one for me. Welcome, everyone, and welcome anyone I might have missed. It was an oversight on my part if I did miss you.
Hello, everybody. So good to have you. A lot of a lot of the normal crowd, but also a good number of newer faces along, and we're glad to have each and every one of you.
For sure.
I want to use my larger. No, that's not the one I want. All right, I've got my chuck here that I want to use the jaws of for the. Yeah, that's what I want.
And Todd's saying that the food tonight should be chocolate because that's what it looks like you're turning.
Piece of Kingwood, and it. If you've ever turned Kingwood before, you understand it's got an unusual odor to it. Not unpleasant, just different. There we go. Got that chuck ready to go, or the size of that chuck, or the jaws.
Looks like the wood's pretty dry as well from the way the shavings are coming off it.
Yes, it's dry and it is hard, very hard wood. Okay, just using the left leg.
And Chris
There.
Walters is asking, how's it going, Doug?
Going well, Chris. Going well. Okay, this is my first measurement I've got to take, getting the recess. Since I took that edge off, it's much better balanced now. Just going to use a parting tool just to create a bit of a recess, just big enough so those jaws can get in here.
Maybe a different camera angle will show us the recess.
I'm sorry, yes.
That's all right. You're allowed to be human on this program, you know. And Lucy thinks that Todd's choice of chocolate is always a good choice.
It's almost never a bad choice, is it?
And Mick Deuce says it looks like the sort of wood that Wayne would get stuck on the worm screw.
That was camel thorn. I don't know anything about camel thorn other than it's very dense, extremely dense. That's all
Now,
I know about it.
I'll tell you what, if you'd like to let Andrew in, he's backstage.
Well, okay. Precious.
Oh, how are we all doing tonight?
We are well. We are well. Okay,
Now,
first
Jamie said if you'd like somebody else, he'll jump in.
Who's that?
Jamie Page.
Yeah, Jamie, come on. You got the link, I do believe. You should. Just finish getting this a little bit flat here before I finish my edge.
You may want to pop us into the background though, Doug. If
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, JP was coming in.
Yeah.
yes.
He's just jumping on the computer now.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'll get him when he gets here. All right. So we've got the recess is turned. I may very well come back and deepen it just a touch, but I want to go ahead and get this outer curve completed.
So sorry, Doug, because I was a bit late in. Are you doing the off-centered bowl tonight?
Yes.
Ah, very good. Nice.
Yeah, getting my final outer curve here, because this part, once I turn once I go to the off center, I can't really. Well, I can come back as long as I haven't turned the center out of it yet, the inside. So anyway, I'm just trying to get just a slight compound curve here.
Well, there are many ways of getting the piece off center, and yours has got to be a different one than I've seen before.
Yeah, an awful lot of people do it with a using a glue block, and this one just, I don't know, this one makes sense to me. And normally, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, when a method of doing something unusual makes sense, it becomes much easier for me to do. Like turning the sphere starting on the bias instead of between centers.
And Sprague Wood Turning has joined us. Welcome.
Hello, Jim. How are you doing?
Ah,
What I
Jim, were
really
you here earlier?
that might be who it was. And Pete says, "Damn, I'm a fine cook. Sticky chicken and new potatoes, all eaten, and now I can type."
All right. All right.
That's right. That would be dinner time at your place, Pete.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to go ahead and sand if I can grab some sandpaper here. Should have had
And
that out already.
Mick says he usually does it with offset tenons, so he gets a secure grip.
Yeah.
But that's the good thing about wood turning. It's a case of you kind of work with things, and once you find what works for you, then it's brilliant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no one way to do any of it.
No.
There are some better ways sometimes, but it's rare that it's this way or no way.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Absolutely. And Jamie's backstage now, Doug.
All right.
Okay.
I see him.
And Chris is turning Kingwood.
Jamie, have you got your pants on?
I hope so.
I cannot
I was just
confirm or
making sure.
deny that.
Well, you had me worried for a minute there.
Making sure before I click that button.
And Rob from Copper Owl has joined us. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great.
We're doing good.
bet-
Vinny
I bet-
Charlton's.
Go on.
Sorry, Vinny Charlton's just joined us as well.
Well, actually, he was in here at the very beginning.
Yeah, he was first.
Right. It just popped in saying good evening, everybody. So
Yeah.
I bet
What?
Ruby's loving working alongside some professional earworms for a change.
I know, right? the late one, the late ones as well.
And Lucy says she can't get over how your beard is growing.
I know, right? It's getting
It's
real
growing
long.
a lot faster than mine.
Yeah, I know.
We should hope so.
Yeah.
When I was a very little kid, I'm talking, on about 4 years old, my dad used to have us all shave with his razor, and he just put our faces with shaving cream, and then we had a razor that had no blade. And I'll tell you, I was really upset when my mom told me that I wouldn't be able to grow a beard, but my brothers would. As it turned out, they couldn't grow one anyway.
Really?
And Pete, although it looks like walnut, it's actually Kingwood that he's turning.
Yes.
Nice.
I think when I show you the grain and all, you'll see the difference here in just a minute.
I bet you got less upset the older you got though, Ruby.
You got that right.
Yeah,
Although
no razor burn.
Few cold winter days where it would have been nice. And
Do you know what?
Clint,
It's a few times I've shaved it off when it's been cold and I've felt it.
Clint at Wood Dancers has joined us. Welcome, Clint.
Hey, Clint.
Hey,
Clint.
This one of the difference between this and walnut is the oiliness of this wood. Every
Oh,
single grit, I'm
look at
collecting a
that.
good bit.
so it's
So
almost
it's
like Wenge then, but
um
not a grass.
yeah.
And Wenge tends to be splintery.
Yeah, very.
Mm.
I've seen this
Oh,
wood
that
with
is
a
close.
distinct purple color in it.
Mm.
Yes, when it's fresher, in this area has some pinky purpley looking color in it.
Oh,
So, but
really?
it stands up super nice. I'm not quite done with that edge. There's still a flat spot. So let's fix that before we go on. Yeah, that lighter area, it's so dark, and then that light area is yeah,
Well, I
pinky
think that
purple.
contrast is going to make it really nice.
Mm.
Absolutely.
It's a really nice piece of wood, though, I must admit.
Yeah, Jamie, I was sharing with the folks earlier. Um, I had some friends that were moving from this area down to Georgia and
Okay.
cleaning out their stuff. Um, the husband had tried wood turning and it just wasn't for him, but he had all this wood that he had collected while he was trying. And so I bought a plank of Kingwood, piece of Paduke that I turned last week, and a couple other boards. I think I gave them $40 maybe. Um, what I found out recently, this Kingwood is extremely expensive. So
Well,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
a deal. I
And
got
well,
a
Pete's
deal.
doing the same thing as what I'm doing at the minute, just having a look up to see how much it is, because it's not very common over here.
Yeah,
Was his wife who happened to be around while he told you the price of how much it actually costs?
she was the one selling me the wood.
Oh, right.
Oh
He was
dear.
he had some health issues, and that's part of why they were moving.
Ah,
He and
gotcha.
his son both were had some health issues, and they could get the help they needed down in Georgia that they couldn't get here. So
well, this is
Lucy's got a question. Sorry, Lucy's got a quick question. She wants to know, where is the wood native to, please?
Usually a tree, Lucy.
Oh, you walked into that one.
normally it comes from South America or in an equatorial region. It's what we call an exotic here, something like
yes,
Ocobolo,
Right.
same general family.
yeah, and it is oily. My goodness, it's oily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard as a rock.
Brazil and Mexico.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking predominantly Brazil is where we would get most of ours.
Yeah, we get a lot of African woods in the UK
yes,
Mm.
yes,
as exotics.
yeah. There you go. You can see it here. That
Yeah.
purpley, pinky. Um, that's closer to the sapwood.
As
I
the
don't
light's
think it is.
bouncing off of it, you can kind of see the bit of pinkiness going through right through the middle of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. With the
Mm.
chatoyance, you can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Chatoyance.
Chatoyance.
that's that nickel 95 word that wood turners get to use once in a while.
And Mick has said that I commented that I even call you exotic. Well, for us, you is exotic, isn't it, Doug?
Oh, for me, it's extremely exotic.
We'd
I've
love
I,
to have it grow locally, believe me.
Oh my, if I could
I
get some
turned
yew.
I turned a piece of yew a couple of days ago, and the past two pieces of yew I've turned, it's just not agreed with me. I must have sneezed about 8 or 9 times in a row while I was hanging out
Really?
with Andrew. Yeah,
Mm.
and then the
All
time
right.
before that I got a real bad headache. But before that, I've been fine since turning it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the last 2 weeks I've been sneezing, but I think it's because we've had such abnormally warm weather that allergy season is just starting very early here this year.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got flowers popping out. wildflowers popping out around here that should not even be thinking about blooming just yet. Maybe 3 or 4 more weeks, but not now. All
Now,
right.
Vinny says when he watches all the videos, no one ever seems to use the dust hood on the Canvac dust collector. Any reason? I know I don't use it because number one, it gets in the way, and number two, the pull on the Canvac is so strong, it takes the dust out pretty well as is.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't have a Canvac, so I don't know.
And
Andrew's got to be careful. He's like standing in a wind tunnel for him.
Yeah. Yep. He could
I
take a
knew
trip.
something was coming.
Will Van River says that for him, ash is now exotic, and it's getting to be that way here. Beech is another one that's an exotic in our area.
I've got plenty of ash.
All right. I'm gonna have one little area that is not going to be a fully contacted. Looks like.
Lucy says, "Can you be toxic?" It can be, Lucy. Yeah.
Yes, it can.
I think Wayne was saying about a guy that he used to eat his cereal out of a U bowl he made years ago, and well, he's still alive. So, but there are people that say that you shouldn't eat out of a U bowl because of it being toxic.
One of the things I understand is as long as you don't use alcohol, they used to make goblets out of it, and people would drink it from it and die. Anyway.
I mean, I don't know if it's just, I forget the word I'm looking for. Just coincidence that they grow you in graveyards, but maybe that's a reason. But
Pete has a warning for you, JP. He's known many turners who develop problems with you after years of working with it, and the symptoms just get worse.
luckily, I've only got one more blank left.
There you go.
And Mick Juicers want you to send that to him to save you the trouble.
Yeah. I could put your name on it, Mick.
Or you can put mine on it too, and I'll just fill a third suitcase when I come over.
That wouldn't be so bad.
And Ronald has pointed out the Kingwood is used for guitar backs and sides and for pen blanks.
Yes. Use my 1/4-inch skew to kind of clean that up and give me just a little bit of a undercut on that tenon.
And Lucy has put in, Jamie, U is supposed to ward off evil spirits, hence why it's in churchyard.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, a nice side effect of this method is that pattern.
There you go.
I so badly want to take out my carving tools and carve a nose and a face on that moon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to start off with the recess side of this, which means we got to change.
See you later, Jim.
See you,
Jim.
Jim.
Leaving us already?
Yeah, he's got an appointment he has to go to. He said he's going to watch later.
All right. It'll be there. It's one of the joys of YouTube. All right. We'll take this one off and we'll put the other one on.
Tell you what I can do, Mick, is I can send you that piece of U and you can give me some sandpaper.
Oh, he's got plenty of it.
Yeah.
He has for now until I take it off him tomorrow.
And if I bring some home, Heather says she'll even drive down to see me for it.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Now you got to realize she's a good 4 hours away. So this isn't like she's driving across town.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It would be easy for most people to not understand how big Canada is. But Canada is a big country.
Yeah, the maps don't do us justice.
Right.
Depends on the projection that was used for creating the map.
Right. I'm trying to decide if my I think my recess is too narrow. I thought I made it deep wide enough. It's big enough around, but it's not. I don't think the opening is big enough for the jaws to go into. Yep, that's the problem right there. Let's see.
Now, Pete says eutaxin, which is an alkaloid poison, it's mostly in the leaves and seeds, but some is also in the timber, and it's activated especially by acids, so avoid using it for red wine and tomatoes.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Right, okay.
There you go.
So no Bloody Marys.
And
Nope.
he
And no
says,
pizza.
go ahead. You go
You
ahead.
don't puree your pizza is right, Jamie.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
Pete says that eating out of any wooden bowls is not a good idea.
No.
I don't know. I like popcorn out of my wooden bowls.
I like to eat salad out of my big wood. I've got a big wood salad bowl that I made for myself. I love to eat out of it. Yeah, I'm probably going to clip that edge right there as I take this edge in just a little bit.
And Chris wants to know why the bowl is off center, Doug. He just wondered.
He got a big catch.
Well, it's not off
It's
center
moved.
right now. Right
It's
now, it's
quite
perfectly
straight now.
center. Yeah, but it will be off center. But that's intentional. It's right here for you folks who may have come in late.
It's
Right
all.
there is what it's going to end up looking like. That's walnut.
Nice.
That is nice walnut. That is
Yeah.
really nice bit of walnut.
You can see how offset I got it. And that was about a half an inch offset is all that is.
Is that a lack
Fa-
of finish as well?
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Funniest story about them kind of bowls is I've done that style of bowl on every single lathe that I've ever had, and every single as the lathes have progressed, the wobble was reduced every single time because the lathe has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger each time.
Yeah, yeah. There we
Now,
go.
Al wants to know what the reason is for your first tenon.
I'm sorry.
Al wants to know what the reason is for the first tenon.
Okay, I've got a recess for one set of jaws so that I can do the normal balanced portion of it. Even the top, I got to flatten this off and develop what's going to be my rim. Then I've got an offset tenon so that it offsets the bowl portion on the inside. Does that answer your question? If not, I'll explain further if I have to. All right.
Chris Walters says, "I'll take it, Jamie. I've never turned it before." Andrew's got some load of you for you.
I've not got much of you left, to be honest, and it's all spoken for at the minute, unfortunately.
Well, you can get more. I mean, after all, it grows on trees, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Tell you who's got some that he may be willing to part with it is I'll think of it here in a minute. Jamie, you might be able to remember the two guys that Keith. Keith has some.
Oh yeah.
He's got a load of it, in fact.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of his handle now. Circular Wood by Keith, is that it?
Holy cow! He and
I can't remember. I won't be messaging him at the moment. I don't think he's very
what
well at
was
the moment.
Keith Greenwood?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
won't be
right?
messaging him at the moment though. He's not very well at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
Mm.
And what was the fellow's name? Was it that they alternated, worked together, earworm for each other, alternated time slot?
Um,
I can't believe I can't remember that, or it's just not coming to my head.
Are you putting a slight curve to the outside on that?
Um, I
Oh,
haven't decided fully.
Andy, A8, is it AH is for turning?
Andy H is
Andy
returning.
H
Yes.
for turning.
Yeah,
Mm.
And Mick
I'm
makes a
not.
good point. You have to make sure you don't offset it too much, or you're going to whack your lathe bed.
Yep. What also makes it awfully off balance.
True. And
All
Ronald
right.
says that Mark Soleil is trying to get rid of warehouses of wood.
Yes. Yes. For the folks here in the States, Mark Soleil has, from what I understand, it's literally a warehouse or two. They are large. They're storage units, but they're very large.
Nice.
Um, but he's had a series of strokes
Oh no.
and is working his way out. He did a demonstration for Worldwide Woodturners here a couple weeks ago, wasn't it, Ruby?
Yep.
Very simple, but it was some stuff. It was some rudimentary stuff that most people forget about, and so it was good reminder kind of stuff. He is a huge advocate of slicing the wood, never scraping, but slicing.
Right. And most people don't understand the difference.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
Uh, Todd's got a question. He says, "Where is Mark located, Doug? Is that the gentleman wood turner,
I think he's in
Mark?"
Texas or California, isn't he?
oh, Mark Soleil is in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, that Mark.
You mean
Sorry.
in Georgia? Okay. Pete says that stuff in Canada is big. It takes Lewis Golden, the Klondike craftsman, 2 hours to drive from one end of his workshop to the other.
That's about true.
Wow.
That shop, if you haven't seen pictures of Lewis's shop, it's huge.
I wish I had that kind of room.
Serious.
Yeah, that would be something else, wasn't it?
It's
Whereas
massive.
if you have a bigger shop, it's never going to be big enough because the space you have, you'll fill up with more machines, wood, tools.
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I keep getting the wrong tool to undo my chuck with. Last time I saw a picture of his shop, of course, he had all his woodworking stuff, a couple of benches, had a massive tractor parked inside of it.
Well,
You know, uh, his,
you have to get the wood in somehow, you know.
yeah, right, right. I didn't even see any of his wood store. Okay, now that's what I had a while ago that was wrong. There we go. Now, this is where the fun begins.
There's the wobble wobble.
Wobble wobble. You're
Wobble
exactly
wobble.
Wobble
right.
wobble.
But you can see first I turned my recess, my tenon on the back, put it back in the center hole so I could get the outside of the bottom of the bowl. Then on the top, I've done kind of a domed rim. So
Mm.
I started to say that a while ago to answer your question, Ruby, and I don't know, somebody was talking about something.
Um,
But anyway,
do you have a white pencil handy?
I do.
Okay, maybe if you put it on the edge where you're going to cut, then people could see where it's going to go.
Right.
Ah, yep. Good representation.
I'm
Yeah,
probably
good
going to
call.
come
See, an RPT would have thought of that.
Absolutely.
out here just a little further. There we go. It'd be something in that nature of that
Nice.
That's
outer
pretty
outer
cool.
circle. Yeah. The trick is that I found the other day
Nick
for
says,
me. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ruby.
Mick says he drove down a road in Nova Scotia, which is in eastern Canada, and there were house numbers in the 3000s. He says, bugger being a paper boy.
Chris, I think your chat's a little bit behind, buddy. Refresh the page.
The rest of this, if you ignore all the bouncy look, like this white line is just, both of them are just bouncing around. You
Hmm.
can ignore that. It's just like turning any other bowl.
Now,
You do have two holes here, but go ahead.
Heather and Pete both made good comments. Heather said that if you were going to color the outside rim of the bowl before you moved it onto the other center, that would have been the time to color it. And Pete said, make sure you knock the speed down before you press start after you've moved it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, how deep did you drill those?
How deep did I drill the holes?
Yep.
Real deep.
Real deep.
First set was not deep enough, so I had to go back and drill real deep. I
Half
don't know
inch,
exactly. I didn't measure it.
maybe a half inch.
Um, I think I went a little over a half an inch.
Okay. How
That could have
thick
been a
was
song.
your wood? How thick was your wood to start?
What I say, an inch and a half? I forget what I said now.
Okay.
That could have been a song by the Bee Gees. How deep did you drill?
Did you drill?
No, we could start our own band.
There you go.
You two guys can have all the singing parts.
That's not a bad idea.
Thank you very much, Ruby.
Well, if I were to sing, everybody would leave. We wouldn't have an audience.
Have any of y'all seen the movie Yesterday?
I haven't,
Mm,
no.
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 It's a fella. I think he's Indian, maybe living in England. Um, Trying to make it as a singer. He does basking on the streets. He does bars. He does just anything he can to make a couple dollars singing, and it's mostly his music. But then on the way home one night, um, it's like a power surge, and all the lights go out worldwide. And while the lights are out for like 12 seconds, he gets hit by a bus. He's on a bicycle, and a bus hits him. And when he wakes up, nobody remembers anything about, well, there are several things, but the big thing is nobody remembers anything about the Beatles. It's like the Beatles never existed.
Hmm.
But he remembers, this guy remembers bits and pieces of Beatles songs. And so he starts writing them down and singing them, and nobody realizes it's not his music. He tries to tell them at first, and um, but nobody, they've never heard of the Beatles. They don't know the Beatles music till the very, well, it's almost at the end of the movie. There's one couple that remembers, and they're not upset that this guy's making money. They're so just happy that somebody finally remembers the Beatles songs, and they're old hippies. But it's anyway, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Pete highly recommends the movie as well.
Oh, there you go.
Rob Makes Stuff has joined as well. Don't recognise that name, but welcome along.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Rob.
How you
Welcome,
doing?
welcome. All right, I think we're pretty close. Up, right dead center. get my little nut
Albert
out.
Dawson did have a quick question earlier, and he just asked, what speed are you turning at the moment?
Give me half a second now, and I'll look. 1200. This is a fairly small piece of wood. It's not very thick, and so there's not a lot of weight there. That walnut, when I turned it around, about the most speed I could get out of it was about, if I remember right, between 350 and 400. But it was a much heavier piece of wood than this is. I'll turn my back on for a minute.
And Pete says that Rob makes stuff is actually Rob from Klingspor in disguise.
Ah,
um,
his
Regardless,
alternate
welcome, Rob.
his
yeah.
alternate channel.
Now, for some reason, I always just think of him as being a gentleman.
There you go.
This is probably going to require me to come back after the live and do more sanding.
It looks very oily.
It is. That was a brand
Mm.
new piece of sandpaper. Kingspor
Wow.
sandpaper.
Klingspor! And Pete, yes, the pub serves Doombar, so you'll be happy for tomorrow night.
Now, I really wish I was going to be over there for that.
Yeah, I've just got
little
all
more.
the gear ready for the things that I'm taking. One of them will be Pete's Dremel 8240. Just need to load the car in the morning, and an hour's time I'll be there.
Maybe I can find somebody with a booth that wants an extra turner in it for Harrogate.
I'm available for that.
Yeah, so you'd get 2 for 1. You'd have both Doug and I.
So you get a twofer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Got a little line right through here that I need to get the tool back out. Didn't cut it cleanly. Turn off the vacuum while I'm doing that. One of the things, of course, most of us already know, but you saw how much wobble I was getting at like 4, 5, 600. But if I get it up
Mhm.
like it's at 1200 now, and I've got very little vibration in the lathe. So
I think it depends on the lathe and it depends on the wood.
it really does. That harmonic balance that you get or don't get. Um, in this situation, once I get past that harmonic balance issue, it evens right out. I think I can speed it up even more. Not goes to vibrating at 1400.
Dancers with Aardvarks has joined us. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Mike.
Mate.
Yeah, I find it odd when people ask what speed you're going because when I started turning, we didn't have speedometers on our lathes, so we tended to listen to the machine and
Mhm.
what it
On the
felt
Reese
like.
drives.
No, that I guess it was back that far.
Well, even this lathe, before I put the electronic speed control on it, um, what I found was I tended to start at a speed and I would stay there whatever that was, and I'd just make do. Now I'm listening to what's going on, um, feeling what's going on, what's the wood telling me? The feedback. Like it's telling me very cleanly that, or clearly, it does not want to go faster.
And Ron is saying, be careful of the bottom thickness.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Wayne just
about as
used to
deep
whip
as I
his
want to be.
horses to go faster.
Yeah. Oh, I know one part that's bothering me. I had that raised up for that scraper and never lowered it back down.
And Pete,
There you go.
you're absolutely right. When I started turning, they couldn't put speed on lathes as Roman numerals were so long.
Pete would know. He was there too.
Well, so would Wayne. Wayne remembers. We both remember the pyramids being built.
Well,
I will
sure.
say Wayne invented the Roman numerals.
Well, we worked
Maybe.
on it together, actually.
Well, there you go. Brute. There
Yeah,
you go.
I can't let him take all the blame.
No, you can't. No. But you can
That's
both take all the credit for the straight roads.
That's true. And that was before engineers came along. Then, then the roads were flat, and then we got engineers. And no, Todd, the pole lathes didn't have speed readouts.
Yeah.
Not real.
Wayne's written woodworking plans in hieroglyphics.
Yep. That's the joy of being old. You can remember back then when things were so much better.
Oh, Mick, behave.
Simple doesn't always mean better, though, Ruby.
Pardon?
Simple doesn't always mean better.
True.
That's true. Although
Not.
sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does. This lathe started off as a belt drive or belt change. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 8 speeds, very predefined by the pulleys that the company put on the lathe. And when I changed it to electronic speed control, I go from 50 to over 3,000 and love every bit of it. I rarely go over 2,000. Um, don't need to. But the speed, to be able to change the speeds at will is tremendous. That's one time when I'll say more complicated was definitely better than the simple. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. A little bit more.
Bailey Woodworks is asking what's wrong with engineers. Well, quite simply, when I wanted to be one, they wouldn't let women in. And then things would have been designed much less complicated and would have worked.
Is that when you went back to wishing you had a beard again?
Well, this was a little later, like when I went to university. When I finished high school, girls could not even apply for the skilled trades. And when I went
Yeah.
to university, we couldn't even apply to get into engineering.
Oh, no.
Our times have
That's
changed, eh?
that's
Well,
very interesting.
I once sat with 3 fellows that I golfed with who were all Negroes, and they were complaining about how oppressed they were until I pointed out to them that women of my generation actually faced more oppression growing up than they did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, for example, a woman couldn't walk into a bar. You had to go in a separate door to a separate section, and you had to be accompanied by a gentleman. You couldn't go out to a restaurant for dinner by yourself. You didn't dare wear things like long pants. You had to wear dresses all the time. Now there were a lot of restrictions that people don't think about that were in place back in those early days.
All right, all right. I think you're at the finish line.
Well, thank goodness women can be wood turners now.
Absolutely. There was the movie about the women engineers for the first women engineers for NASA.
Oh, that was a
Um,
good film.
Yeah, that was a good
yeah,
film. Yeah.
very good film. Gonna take the 220 and go around this edge. It lifted the edge just a touch. Yeah, very good movie. Not only women get going into the engineering area of NASA, but black women at that. And oh my, I wanted to jump up and down for joy. I thought that was just fantastic. Forget the name of that movie now.
Pete says that he wishes he had been chosen to be a politician. Political world would still be in a mess, but he would be very rich now.
Oh, Pete.
It's
Still
called
be in a
Hidden
mess, but you'd be
Figures.
wealthy.
Hidden figures,
Hidden
yes.
Figures.
Yes, 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 yes.
And Fred Gilliver has joined us. Welcome, Fred.
Hey,
And so
Fred.
was Jim Selby, sorry, Shelby.
Yeah.
Okay, just for fun, let's get a. Well, got more than I bargained for.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
Oh,
look at that.
wow.
oh my goodness.
Just a little alcohol to clean it.
That's the money shot.
There's some of your pink right there coming through.
Yeah, that's
It's a
nice.
lovely bit of green. Lovely bit of green. A little on the back,
Mm.
clean it up.
You know, I look at that wide section and I want to mark it off and I want to
Pyrography something onto it.
either pyrography or carve something onto it. Yeah.
Mm.
Or paint something onto it.
Yeah,
And I know, but that wood is. Oh,
That's
I don't.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I don't know if paint would do that wood justice, in my opinion.
this
But
particular piece, I don't
I'd
know that
like to do
would.
something like
ah,
like pinstripe or something like that on it. I wouldn't paint the
yeah,
design on it or anything like that.
If this was something lighter, poplar, maple, something like that,
it
I
looks
might
nice.
consider doing some Joe Sonia's out here.
Now, Doug,
Yeah.
you didn't treat the outside the way you're doing the inside yet.
No, no, we didn't. I'll have to go back and kind of do. Well, I can do the backside on the lathe, but well, when I figure out how to hold it to do the bottom, but this outer rim, I have to change chucks and everything, and I'll do that. I just wanted to do this inside so that we get an idea of what it's gonna come
That's
out to
gonna
be.
come out really, really nice.
Let's turn that
You
down a
could
little more.
get like a little buffing pad or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that and just hand do it. Something like the
Mm.
yeah.
Dremel Versa or something like that.
Good
Right.
idea.
Yeah,
That's most likely that'd be the easiest way to do it. Um, this outer rim and the backside for that matter. For that matter, I could go to my bill buffing and do it.
That's true. You could.
That's probably what I will do. That'd make it a lot simpler.
And Pete says he's got some bike contacts in Brazil and Mexico, and he may need to ask them to post him some Kingwood.
There you
Pete
go.
and me.
And me.
And me.
It is pretty nice. That is so dark. I'm not used
Look
to
I,
at
being anywhere
that.
I,
that
I, I
dark.
told Andrew to let you win, Pete. Trust me.
Oh
Going
dear.
going from the clean paste to what just that few moments did. Golly, big difference.
Yeah, it's picking up the oils in the wood.
Oils in the wood, the dust that the alcohol left.
Mm.
If you do it on the buffing system, it'll likely mess up your wheels.
I'm not too worried about those. I know how to clean those off.
You
I'm not
found
going to be
another,
able. Go ahead.
you found another use for your skew?
For My
The
little
Cleaning
buffing,
off
cruise.
the buffing
the
wheels.
buffing wheels.
Oh, the buffing. Um, you can do that. I've got a hacksaw blade that I hold up against it.
If it works, it works.
That's right. Well, in fact, that's what was in the instructions when I got it.
Now, Jim asks, what do you store your Beal system in to prevent contamination and rust?
Um, the I have made a motor just for my bill system. My buffs I keep in a plastic bucket that have a lid, and also um, not just the buffs, but also the compounds.
Uh,
Lucy just says P&O do a cruise that includes Brazil, and they don't have a luggage amount. So Lucy, you go to Brazil on the P&O cruise, and you get us all some some wood.
Yeah,
Nice
Yeah.
one. Thank you very
yeah.
much,
King.
Thanks for
Kingwood.
the offer.
Mike
Cheers.
asks if the green is dense enough for ornamental turning. Yes, this green is dense enough for ornamental turning, and it
I would
would take it very, very well.
I would think. Yeah, you're
Don't
starting to
Mm,
don't
see. You can see in the bottom there some. It's starting to shine pretty good, and all we've done is the abrasive paste at this point.
don't P&O charge a pound for their crossings now, or don't they do that anymore?
not sure.
I think they're charging, to be honest with you, and that's each way.
I know not a lot of people like them at the moment because they fired everyone like without notice. For just fired all of their staff.
Mm.
Well, you think
'Cause-
you're getting a good price on the trip, and then you find out you've got to add another 100 each
mm,
way. So you're not getting as good a deal as you thought.
yeah, the P&O run out of not far from where I live. They run out of Dover.
Mm.
So I'm only about 30 to 40 minutes from there.
P&L, is that the rail system?
No, it's the ferries.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, would you look at that?
I enjoyed when I took my trip to Germany. I really enjoyed being able to jump on the trains and travel everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you can set your clocks by those trains in Europe.
Absolutely, you could, and you could go virtually anywhere. You might have to. There was one we were trying to find one specific place. We had to take the train from where we were over to another town, and then walk through the town to get to the train station on the other side to get to where we wanted to go.
Hmm.
So I mean, it wasn't that far a drive or a walk, but it was got to
What I
go to where
like
we wanted.
is you're going through the towns over there are the architecture of the homes and buildings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the architecture was beautiful. Went through Hamburg. Don't remember. Oh, we were
Oh, Pete.
trying to remember the town we started in. Uh, anyway, went through several small towns. We were on the train for about 4 hours each way, uh, but we got where we wanted to go. We had a great time. No bothers whatsoever.
Spunby Green Jeans says that he finishes the bottom and outer front rim before he hollows it out.
Absolutely. That
Mm.
would have been the best way to do it. I did sand. I'm all sanded up inside and out completely. It's just a matter of finishing at this point. Um, and I'm doing the. If I wanted to do abrasive paste and wax, you're exactly. You had the formula right there. Do the outside all at one time. Turn it over. Do the outer rim to
Yep,
completion.
but you still have your mortise on the other side, so you
Yeah.
can put it
Yes.
back on the other chuck and still do that.
Absolutely. The only issue with putting it uh, going back to my recess and the other chuck
You
to do
didn't
the
want that
outer
big.
rim is it's not straight. It's thin on one area and wide on another. So I think buffing will work better actually for in this case. Or I could do it like I did that walnut and lacquer it all. It just
Yeah,
takes
there you
longer
go.
to lacquer. Takes longer to lacquer. I've spent almost 3 days just on the top. I hadn't even done the bottom side yet. And I think we are right now. Now take it back up. It goes up to
Oh,
1,300 now.
Lucy says, Pete, you wouldn't dare.
Oh yes, he would.
Don't tempt him.
Yes, he would.
Just remember, Pete. I want the boxwood.
Just
Mhm.
because of that, it's making
Mhm.
me want to go to Newark now.
Oh, wait a minute. I want some of the boxwood too.
I'll share it with
Boxwood.
you, Ruby.
That's a deal.
Okay, cool. Pete,
Boxwood.
do it.
I would love some boxwood. There you go,
That
Nice,
golden
might
mate.
boys.
that might even
That
be.
is nice.
That looks great, Doug.
I'll take this to the buff system and get that outer rim done, and it'll be pretty consistent. It won't be that different.
Very
That
Now,
that
nice.
came out very nice.
let's see the other side. Yeah, I still want to carve a face in that moon.
Yeah, you need to carve
Well,
a
let's
face
see.
in the moon now.
Let's see. If we go
The
put an
challenge
eye
has
right
been
there,
set.
and a mouth there,
Yep.
and a nose there.
It's like one of them 90s moon and star things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, you're
No,
getting there.
moon and sun things, like the yellow and navy blue curtains.
That could be Mark's black and yellow.
Yo,
Yeah, there
actually,
you go.
yeah, you could paint the moon yellow. So yes, you got the yellow and black contrast.
Hey, I did get, for if you know, you know, gold calligraphy ink,
Oh, nice one.
red calligraphy ink, and it works really nice. Here's a test piece that I did last night just for fun, and
Mhm.
it
Now
it looks
here,
pretty doggone good.
here's some
Nice.
information you may not be aware of. Most calligraphy inks have some shellac in them.
Yes.
Oh,
That
really?
that's why when they dry, you don't tend to rub them off with your hands.
I've
Ah.
I
seen a lot of people start use leather dyes for wood as well. A
Yeah,
lot of
like
luthiers.
yeah. I don't know if this calligraphy ink has shellac in it, Ruby, because it's acrylic. And it does wash with water. I did that last night with my brush. So, but most of them, you're exactly right. Most of them have shellac in them, just a touch, and it makes a difference.
I remember it from when
Mm.
I used to teach calligraphy.
Yeah,
I thought it was one of the more interesting facts I had learned.
sure. I was going to put some wax on that outer rim, but I'm going to wait. Go ahead and buff it out with the abrasive compounds, and then we'll put the wax on it. That's a carnauba wax, as
That's
well as what
super
I put on the
nice.
inside.
That's
So,
lovely,
That
Doug.
is
Yeah,
awesome.
so
very nice.
yeah, it gives it's something different. You set that on your coffee table with some whatever potpourri or some candies or what have you. Um, that would draw people's attention with that rim. Man, it is skinny over here, isn't it?
Yeah, you push the limit there a bit.
It's skinny there and kind of fat there, kind of like me over here.
It's kind of like a very very shallow tree cup with a handle.
Mm.
So
Sure.
anyway, there you have it. That's one way of doing a offset bowl with your recess for the center and your offset tenon to get your offset center up here. But it all starts with putting a screw hole in the front in the center, one offset, about a half an inch. I didn't measure it, but it just eyeballed it half an inch. And I didn't have to take it so thin here, but if I didn't take it thin there, this would have been even wider.
Mm.
Just
True.
it would have brought the whole thing in toward the center. But anyway, it is what it is. And then depending on what wood you use, if you use a kind of a plain wood, you can paint this, you can carve it, texture it, whatever you want to do. Gives you a different kind of a palette. Um,
Yep.
I The one I saw the other day was a light colored wood, and he painted this whole outer rim black, and then used when the Joe Sonia's, I think it was the chestnut pearlescent paints, maybe somebody's pearlescent paints, and it looked quite good. But I could see doing the Joe Sonia and blowing it around or stippling it,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
my goodness, the options are pretty wide open, aren't they?
I may have
Mm.
to steal this idea from you, Doug.
Hey, you're not stealing from me.
Stealing somebody's idea? That's unlike you, Andrew.
Never heard of that. As they say, there's nothing new under the sun. That goes for wood turning as well. Anybody wants to do that and publish it, you are more than welcome. Go for it. Were there any other questions that we
Well,
needed to ask?
RG makes a comment that that would be a great candidate for a laser burning on top as well.
Yes,
Good call.
absolutely.
Good call.
Yeah, if I only had a laser.
I have one, but I have to drive out to New Brunswick to pick it up.
Okay.
I've got a 10-watt one that's been in a box for a year.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, since it's still in the box, just send it to me. I'll take care of it for you.
I've had a
Then
few
you come
people
visit
say that.
anytime you want to
If
use
it's too expensive, you can send it to me instead.
it. I want Zed uses that laser pecker that he's made the holder that goes in his tailstock. That's what I want. And then I can take it, reverse chuck it, put my laser engrave the bottom with my mark, and I love it. I've wanted one of those for a long time, and now that it's more feasible, I can't afford it. I need to sell some bowls so I can afford a laser pecker. But they've gone up in price too. I started looking at those little ones. They were $120. They're over 300 now.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've gone
Wow.
way up, way up. So anyway, unless there's any other questions, Jamie, you got anything special going on? You don't have anything going on, do you?
We've got cartoons on Saturday where we're giving away some big prizes.
Cool.
It's kind of the after show to the auction that we done where we raised just under $11,500 for Make-A-Wish.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. So apart from that, we've got the podcasts that we do every Wednesdays, and then I do my premieres on Mondays now instead of Sundays, and that's about it. Oh, I've got a giveaway of a Dremel coming up some point soon.
All you
So
guys
stay
got
tuned
these
for that.
Dremel giveaways. I declare. And I'm not eligible for any of them. That ain't
Yeah.
right.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're not alone, Doug.
Yeah, I started to ask if I could register, and if by chance I win, send it over to Mark. He needs it. Or Shug, either one. How about you, Andrew? You got anything special going on?
I'll be at Newark this weekend,
All right.
where I'll be launching a new product, which is the tool tips, to protect from getting cuts. Because, as we all know, Mr. Beckett likes to cut his fingers.
Never heard of that. Didn't know anybody ever did that much. How many times? How many times have I cut my fingertips? Ruby, anything going on with you, dear?
No, not very much. If it stays mild here, though, I'll drag some more wood out of the garage and see if I can't wrestle it onto one of the lathes.
There you
Good
go.
for you.
There you go.
There you go.
I will be going back to Tuesday. I think Mark's going to try to be a little more regular on Thursday. We switched this week. I had a meeting that I knew I wouldn't get back in time, and I did. And I got back at 4:30, I think it was. Mark had just finished. This week I do have another meeting, but I'll be back in time without any problem. I know I will because I'm leaving early. So I'll be back.
There you go.
I'll be back Tuesday afternoon for me, Tuesday evening for you guys, and well, for you guys in Europe.
I think your guys' clocks changed this weekend.
They do. We spring forward, and I'm hoping this is the last spring forward we ever do in here in Kentucky, where there's legislation on the books right this very minute to change things.
Yeah, our clocks are changing tonight as well.
Tonight, okay, all right. Pete says he doesn't need to enter the giveaway; he's already won one.
Rob says, Jamie, you mean you're giving Rob a Dremel?
You can buy BGK. You can buy us a coffee tomorrow. Mick says.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
Mick,
that's what
just
happened.
trade some sandpaper and you can get some coffee.
I'm going to take his sandpaper. He ain't got a choice in
Yeah.
it.
All right. All right. We're going to knock this
Mm.
one in the head. It's been fun. Thanks to you guys for coming in and joining. You guys in the chat, thanks a bunch. I appreciate it. We will see you, if not before, we'll see you Tuesday night, I hope. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a great weekend at the show.
Thank you.